So you're saying there's a chance. So finally, for the first time in a while, home buyers are having a glimmer of hope when they start entering the housing market. There's more opportunity available. There's more homes in the market right now. But does this mean that we're going to start seeing us transition into a balanced or even a buyer's market in Orange County anytime soon? And what should we expect prices to do in the Orange County housing market over the next couple months? That's exactly what we're going to talk about on today's episode. So if this is your first time tuning into the show, hi, I'm Josh Alexander, your local Orange County real estate agent, as well as host of Orange County Housing Market News, your one-stop shop for all things Orange County real estate. So today I'm going to be going over my July 2024 housing market forecast for Orange County, and we're going to be deep diving into everything you need to know, as well as my advice for both buyers and sellers who are thinking of entering the market in the next couple months. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I know most of you watching this episode really don't want to spend 20 minutes on data and numbers and going over all that information. You just want to know what's happening in the housing market. So what I'm going to do is just break it down to the things that most people are interested in, which is, are home prices going up, how fast homes are taking to sell right now, and then pointing out any major changes that have been happening in the housing market over the last month that you definitely need to know about. So let's go ahead and talk about pricing first. So if you check out this article right up here, it was just released and it basically studied 30 of the top cities in the United States and found that Orange County had the highest amount of home appreciation out of those 30s, averaging about 10.5% over the last 12 months. So if you're a homeowner in Orange County, you're probably celebrating, your property value continues to rise, and if you're trying to purchase a home, this probably makes sense, because if you've been trying to buy a home right now, especially when you're looking at price ranges at the 1.5 million and below, oftentimes if the home is priced correctly, it's still getting multiple offers and they're still selling very quickly. So can we expect this type of appreciation to continue over the next couple months? Well, here's where the hope comes in for home buyers right now. So if you look at how fast the market's been moving and what's been going on in terms of homes that have been selling, this is where you're starting to see a little bit of a different trend happening in the Orange County housing market. So let's go ahead and take a snapshot by looking at the last week of the June sales in the Orange County housing market to see where things stand right now. So over that last week, a little less than 500 homes sold, and out of those 500 homes, 62% of them sold for at or above asking price. So still, right now, we're still seeing more homes sell at or above asking price than those that are selling below. Now, the important thing to know about this is last month we were at 66%, so we are seeing that slightly decrease, which means the market is slowing down a little bit. And to further prove that point, let's go ahead and look at how long homes are taking to sell on average right now. So again, if you look at that snapshot of the last week of June, 65% of all those homes that were sold went into escrow in less than 2 weeks, and 84% of those homes went into escrow in less than a month. So the market is still moving pretty quickly. However, if you look at the prior month, both those percentages were slightly higher by 1% or 2. So we're not talking about a major shift right now, but we are starting to see a trend develop where you're starting to see a little bit of slowdown in the Orange County housing market. And again, the biggest reason this is great news for buyers is when you look at inventory. So when you look at last month when I did this update, we had about 2,700 homes on the market at that time. As of today, we have about 3,100 homes in the Orange County housing market active, available for buyers to check out. So that's about 400 homes more than just a month ago. So we are seeing a decent rise in inventory, which as a buyer means that you're going to have more options to choose from, a little bit less competition, and it's just going to make the home buying process a little bit easier right now. Now, before any of you decide that this is the beginning of the housing market crash, let me just remind you that this is completely typical for the summer housing market in Orange County. Typically, we're going to see demand peak in the springtime, and then we also see inventory peak usually at the end of summer. So right now, we're in the middle of seeing demand go down slightly and supply go up slightly at the same time, which is slowing the housing market down. So it's just not moving as quick as it was during the spring market, which again is completely normal for the housing market in Orange County. So this brings us to what you can expect in the month of July and moving forward through the rest of summer for the Orange County housing market. So really, it's all going to come down to what interest rates do. So if interest rates stay pretty similar, which they are right now at about 7%, you can expect these trends to continue. You can expect to see inventory continue to climb as we head through the rest of summer. Typically in Orange County, inventory is going to peak anywhere from the end of July all the way to sometime in September. So again, as long as the interest rates remain the same, you can expect that same trend to probably continue. So as a buyer, you're going to have more choices over this next 2-month period than you're probably going to be able to have all year. So it definitely helps you out on that side of things. Now on the demand side of things, you can also expect the same trend to continue as long as interest rates remain the same, which is demand slowly going down for the rest of summer. Right now, buyers are out on vacation, they're at the beach, they're hanging out on barbecues, family, friends. A lot of them are distracted by those type of things, and home buying is not the first thing on their mind anymore, which is why we usually see demand go down throughout the whole summertime. So again, as long as interest rates remain the same, demand should continue going down, inventory should continue going up, slowing down the housing market and slowing down the depreciation rate. Now, does this mean we're going to see the housing market in a balanced market or a buyer's market anytime soon? Most likely not. Right now, we are still very far away from that. Homes are still selling very quickly, especially those homes under $1.5 million right now. If they're move-in ready and it's priced correctly, it's getting multiple offers still, usually that first weekend, and getting into escrow the next week. The homes that are sticking around on the market right now a little bit longer are those homes in the luxury level, $2 million and above, as well as homes that need a lot more work, where buyers just aren't willing to put the extra money in that they need to get the home updated because they're spending so much money right now on down payments and everything else that goes along with purchasing a home in today's market. If interest rates do something where all of a sudden they drop by 0.5%, then you can expect the market to heat right back up again, inventory to start going down again, and we could be right back where we were in the spring market very quickly if interest rates start going down. However, right now, the general expectation is that we're going to remain relatively the same for the next couple months, at least with the interest rates. So we're not expecting any major changes on that front. But it's always impossible to predict what the interest rates are going to do, so you do have to watch those closely to figure out what's going to happen in the housing market. So what does this all mean if you're thinking of buying or selling a home sometime in the next couple months? Well, let's go ahead and start with buyers first. So buyers, even though we are starting to see a slowdown, we're seeing that appreciation slow down. Again, that's completely common. Usually appreciation is going to slow down significantly in the back half of the year compared to the first part of the year. So hopefully as a buyer, you're not going to see almost 1% appreciation every single month going forward. It should definitely slow down, making things a little bit easier for you. You're going to have a much larger selection, a little bit more time to make a decision about those homes that you're looking for, and you shouldn't have to place as aggressive of offers to be able to get into a home right now. Now, that's not to say that's across the board, because if you are looking at homes right now that are below $1.5 million, they're move-in ready, they're priced correctly and marketed correctly, those homes are still flying off the market right now. Typically, within the first weekend, they're getting multiple offers and getting into escrow in less than a week. So really, it's going to depend what type of home you're looking for right now on how fast the market is moving and how quickly you need to react when you find a home that you like. So if you do know the general price range of home that you're looking at right now, you can check out this chart right up here, which goes over Orange County's numbers, and it breaks it down by price category, and it just kind of tells you how fast things are moving right now. So once you go above the $2 million mark in Orange County, things definitely slow down more significantly. So if you're looking in that range, it will be a little bit slower. And if you're trying to buy a home right now that's below $1.5 million, but that home needs a lot of work done to it, and maybe it's not marketed great and might be a little overpriced, those are going to be some great opportunities for you as well, because those homes are taking longer to sell right now than they were a few months ago. So the other thing that you definitely want to pay attention to as a buyer, because it's getting closer and closer, is the new commission rules that are going to take effect in the middle of August. So if you're not familiar with them yet and you haven't watched this channel, I've done a few episodes talking about them, but you can check out all the information right up here. But just to give you a brief summary, right now, when buyers go to purchase a home, typically the seller and the selling agent have worked out some type of deal that's going to offer a certain percentage to the buyer's agent to be able to compensate them. And that basically will allow you as a buyer to be able to get professional representation and oftentimes not have to come out of pocket to do so when you purchase a home. However, once we get to August 17th, and in Orange County specifically, these new rules go into effect August 13th, the way that buyer's agents get paid is no longer going to be through the seller or the selling agent. It's going to have to come directly from the buyer themselves. Now, this is not to say that every time you use an agent to be able to represent you, you're going to have to pay them, but the way you go about writing offers, presenting offers, gathering information before you write an offer is definitely going to change. So once these rules go into effect, if you find a home you like, the first thing you're going to have to do is have your agent talk to the selling agent and figure out, is that seller offering any type of concession for the buyer to help them cover closing costs? Because if so, that concession can help you pay your agent to be able to help you through the transaction. Now, will sellers continue to offer some type of concessions to buyers to help them with the closing costs so they can afford to use an agent? It's all going to depend on the seller and the selling agent's strategy and the marketing behind it. So oftentimes, especially if you're looking at homes under $1.5 million, most sellers know they're going to be dealing with a lot of first-time home buyers, and a lot of first-time home buyers tend not to have giant down payments. So in order for them to attract the most amount of offers and get the highest price for their home, it's probably going to be in their best interest to be able to have some money go to the buyer to be able to have them help with closing costs so they can actually purchase the home and not have to walk away from it. So right now, because the rules haven't taken effect yet, we really are having to wait and see how this is going to impact the industry. But in general, I do think you will see most sellers, because they want to get as many offers as possible on the home, offer some type of concession to the buyer to help with closing costs. And that can in turn help pay for a buyer's agent's fee if you want to use that money towards your buyer agent fee. Now, again, this is not going to be a guarantee, and it's going to be a case-by-case basis. Most of the time, you're going to have to either ask the selling agent or submit that in the offer, asking for some type of concession from the seller to be able to help you pay for closing costs. So it's going to be a little bit different. Take a few months to probably work through to figure out what the new norm is going to be in the industry before things start to calm down a little bit. So really, as a buyer, the biggest thing you need to know right now is the majority of the time that you're purchasing a home right now, everything is going to be the same. So typically, you're still going to have the seller or selling agent compensate the buyer's agent in some way so you can get those services for little or no money to be able to get that representation when you purchase a home. However, once those rules go into effect, really, unfortunately, the best case scenario for buyers is that things stay the same right now. So when these new rules do go into effect in the middle of August, there's really not many scenarios, unfortunately, where the buyer is going to walk away with more money in their pocket because of these changes. The best case scenario for buyers that you're going to be able to submit an offer with the seller, ask for some type of concession that's going to help pay for your agent, and then everything remains very similar. In worst case, maybe in a very hot market, you're going to have some sellers that just say, I'm not offering any type of concessions, you have to pay your own agent, and then you're going to have to decide, do you want your own separate representation to be able to purchase a home? Do you want to do it by yourself? Do you want to go to the listing agent, which is called dual agency, where they represent both you and the seller, which I never recommend because it's impossible to be able to represent the seller and the buyer's best interest in that same transaction at the same time. That's like getting divorced and then hiring the same attorney to represent both sides. It just doesn't really make sense to do. However, some buyers might be forced to do so in order to be able to purchase a home. So for buyers, it's definitely something to think about. We don't know exactly how it's going to play out yet. However, do know that there are going to be ways and things that you can do within a contract to be able to get some closing cost credit from the seller, so that way you're still able to get that professional representation that's going to be separate from the seller's representation. And again, I know that was very long-winded, but if you want more details about everything going on with this, again, check out this video right up here if you're watching it on YouTube. So now on the selling side of things, so if you have a home right now that's above $2 million or that needs a lot of work, you can continue to expect the market to slow down for you. So the data is showing that those homes are not flying off the market right now. They're still selling faster than they usually do during this time of year in a normal year. However, it is definitely slowing down more noticeably for those two different categories right now. So the best thing that you could be doing as a seller right now is, number one, you need to make sure that you price your home correctly. I say it every single episode, but as we slow down, it becomes more and more important that you're pricing it based on latest comparable sales, and you're not stretching that price too much, because if you do, buyers are savvy. They know that you overpriced your home and they won't give it the time of day. They won't look at it. It's going to sit on the market. The longer it sits, the harder it is to get the best price for it. That's been shown time and time again. You are much better off pricing it at the latest comparable sales. Make sure that you get as many buyers as possible through there to be able to get those multiple offers and the best price possible. Now, you also need to understand that in today's market, 90% of buyers are seeing your home for the first time online. So not only do you need to have a good real estate agent on your side, a good lender on your side to be able to cross-check those buyers to make sure you're not going to have any issues with their loans, but you also need to make sure you have a professional videographer, professional photographer, and you also need to make sure your real estate agent knows how to reach people where they are. Like I said, the majority of people are seeing your home for the first time online, and there's so many tools available for agents right now to be able to go through Facebook ads, Google ads, make videos, and really target the right people to get into your home so the most amount of qualified home buyers are seeing your home as possible to get that traffic in the house, to get the multiple offers, and get you the best price possible. So when you're going through searching for an agent, make sure you're asking them about their online strategy, because that's where a lot of people are seeing your home right now, and that could give you the edge over the rest of your competition. Now, if you're watching this episode, you've been thinking to yourself, how in the world are home prices going up so quickly still, even with interest rates up? There's got to be something going on in the housing market. Where's the bubble? What is happening? Well, if you want to get a better understanding of how we got to this point and really why that's not going to change anytime soon, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you check out this video right here, because I go all about how we got here and why we had such a run up, so you can better understand what's going on in the market now and how that's really going to impact the housing market for years to come. So I hope you found this information useful, and until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the next show. Bye, everybody.